I asked my parents for a car, and they gave it to my sister with cancer. Story: my sister was diagnosed with cancer last year. It has been hard on our family, and even harder on her. I love my sister, and I tried to be there for her as best as I could. I also did everything I could to make things easier for my parents. I took over all chores, cooked every day, cleaned the house, did laundry, took care of my younger sibling, and babysat them more. Luckily, she's doing really well and has recently finished her treatment, which is great, and we're all grateful. Our birthdays are 2 weeks apart, and hers was 2 weeks ago. My parents bought her a new car to celebrate after everything she went through, which I understand. She does deserve it, but I was a bit surprised because I thought they didn't have any money. My dad has been unwilling to help me get a used car since last year, telling me that they do not have the money. I didn't even want him to pay for all of it. I have been saving up and just wanted them to help me with the rest. But he kept telling me that they have no money for that. Well, my birthday just rolled around and my parents bought me a book that I mentioned in passing and a $25 takeout gift card to a place I like. I thanked them, but they saw that I wasn't too thrilled and asked me what was wrong. I told them that while I appreciate the gifts, I thought that they were finally going to help me with the remaining $800 for buying the used car, seeing that they could now afford a new car for my sister. But that's when they accused me of being jealous of my sister, who had just gone through something very traumatic, and that I was trying to make everything about me and why I couldn't just be happy for her. They said that at the end of the day, I have a job and could just continue saving. Am I the a-hole? Response 1, NTA. It's not jealousy to feel undervalued. I understand your sister has been through hell, but siblings of sick kids always seem to get lost in the panic. It's entirely up to you, but if it were possible, I'd really talk to your parents about how this made you feel. You stepped up and took care of the household while never giving up on your sister. I think they're probably scared, and I get that the diagnosis changed everyone's lives. But if they continue to paint this picture of you in their heads that you're resentful and jealous, that can so negatively impact your relationship with them in the future. Edited to add advice. Reply 1. What I want to know is, if OP took over all the chores, cooked, did laundry, babysat younger siblings, etc., what exactly did the parents do? Like maybe they both work full-time, but it's still insane. OP was able to take all of this on for them. Ungrateful parents, not the a-hole. Reply 2, my niece just went through cancer, and my brother and SIL moved in with my parents for the chemo period because it was just so much. It's a bit different because she's only 3 and her brother 5, but still, there's so much that comes with cancer treatments. It can be insanely intense, not to mention the sleepless nights, having to drive to the hospital at the smallest sign of a fever, etc. And she mentioned a younger sibling, so between that and full-time work, but they are still ungrateful a-holes, and no, OP was not required to do this, but she did, and that shows she is anything but self-centered. The parents should show some appreciation and realize that the siblings have also gone through something traumatic and have had to pay by getting a lot less attention from their parents. Reply 3. Do you think the sibling went to hospitals alone with day-long treatments and immense nausea and surgeries, etc.? Reply 4. Obviously not, but that still means OP was running the house by themselves, which is not their responsibility. Reply 5. The parents didn't spend every single second of the past year at the hospital. Do you think they never had a single moment in an entire year to do their own laundry or cook for themselves? It's not like they went to the moon. And there are 2 parents. Both of them weren't needed to hold the sister's hand every minute of the day. Response 2. NTA, yes. Your sister went through a lot, but so did you. I understand that while she was going through treatment, she may have gotten more gifts from friends, family, etc. But when giving gifts to you and your sister for birthdays, Christmas, etc., their values should be equal. This is very easy. I know because I have 2 daughters, and when my youngest was 4, she was diagnosed with a cancerous brain tumor. She went through surgery and treatment, and I never treated her any better than I treated her 7-year-old sister. Yes, she received about 15 stuffed animals from friends and family, and only one of those friends thought to get a stuffed animal for Brenda as well, and an aunt and uncle that bought tablets for both of them. When she came to the hospital to visit her sister, I took her down to the gift shop and let her select a stuffed animal. She didn't get 15, but she got 2, and she was happy with that. But when it came to their birthdays and Christmas, I always tried to make it equal. I loved them both very much, and it was hard on both of them. I let my oldest know that I appreciated all her help and her patience, and I apologized that I was spending so much more time with her sister, out of town and at the hospital. But that all changed when we came home after the treatment was over. Then I spent my time with both of my girls. Did your parents favor your sister before the cancer diagnosis? Your parents should be grateful for all the help you gave them while your sister was sick, helping around the house. I'm sorry they don't recognize that. One day you will find someone that will recognize you for all you are worth. Hang on to that person, and if your parents don't change, I would distance yourself from them. Keep the people in your life that appreciate you and all that you do. Reply 1. This right here, OP. Your parents are harming all of their kids with their behavior, including your sister who had cancer. I'm going to say that again. OP's parents are harming all of their children with the special treatment they are giving one of the kids. That kid has now learned that she just needs to be sick, and she will get all of the love, attention, and gifts. Reply 2. This is real parenting done right. Well done. Your daughters are lucky to have an amazing mom like you. Reply 3. This 100% not the a-hole, OP. You're not going to always spend the same amount on your kids for everything, but buying one, a car that presumably costs tens of thousands of dollars. If you're in the US, the average price was $47K in March. And the other two gifts that cost about $50 together, and that's assuming it's a hardcover novel, is outrageous. Reply 4. What I don't understand about OP's parents, and mother specifically, is how she's not feeling any sort of mom guilt. As mothers, the mom guilt is basically constant, even for the minor things. So what the heck, OP's mom? Reply 5. The myth that all moms care and feel guilt or shame for not doing better is just a myth. The good moms do, and do their best. Then, some best efforts aren't great, and then there's the few who either don't even try, or their best is harmful. Response 3. NTA, this would be the end of me helping out. Do your chores and move on. It's sad that your sister has to deal with cancer, but the gap between gifts is too much, and if you keep giving, your resentment will keep building. Reply 1. Yep, I'd be done. They can kick me out if they want to, but then I would tell everyone they know that they did that. They are not saintly humans for getting their kid through cancer while ignoring the rest of their kids. They suck. Reply 2. Yep, same. I would stop helping out and use the extra time to pick up extra shifts at work to afford the car and to move out. And when they ask why OP can't babysit or do extra chores, they can just say they can't because they have a job and need to save money. Not the a-hole. Reply 3. If OP wasn't spending all her time helping her family, she could have been working to get that car money. She sacrificed for her family, which was the right thing to do. The disrespect from the parents is appalling. I understand they were terrified their child would die, but to double down when OP pointed out how she felt is icky. Also, the 16 years old didn't need them to go into massive debt for a new car, which it sounds like the parents did. I'd be done, and I'd be looking for ways to become more independent. Reply 4. I wouldn't blame her for going no contact for a while, just so her parents realize that she does matter, and they are being dicks. Response 4. I'd get more hours at work, so you can save more for that car. If you can't babysit anymore, well, too bad. You are just doing what they said, right? Also, I would study more in a quiet library or start volunteering in your community and so on, all those extra chores you have done to help out. Nope, they can do them now that the treatments are over. Reply 1. This is the way, malicious compliance at its best. They definitely don't appreciate all you've done, so there's no need for it. Reply 2. True. If they start complaining about the housework, well, they could pay for a housekeeper. It would be cheaper than a car. Reply 3. Sometimes I remind myself of the quote, I can do all things through spite, which strengthens me. And then I laugh and get super motivated, even if I'm not being spiteful in that instance. Though sometimes I am, I won't lie. Response 5. NTA. This is a surefire way for your parents to create a situation where you resent both them and your sibling. I understand wanting to do something nice for your sister after what she's been through, but the gifts are really unproportionate, and I'm not sure why they thought that was a good idea, especially if you've been carrying the weight of chores and housework for others while your sister has been sick. I think you should work more hours to save up for a car faster. And since you'll be working more, you should stop contributing as much to the household in terms of cooking, cleaning, and childcare. Reply 1, absolutely this. If you can schedule more hours at work, please do so. If not, maybe consider picking up a second job or doing Uber Eats or other things to earn that $800 faster. Your whole family has been through a really difficult time. You did a great thing by stepping up and caring for the household. Now it's time to return to normal, and your parents need to care for the household while you work to gain your independence. It is unfair that they bought a car for your sister and probably ultimately bad for her, but you cannot change their choices. All you can do is control your reaction to them. I wish you all the best in the future. Response 6. Your parents really said, you are making your own birthday all about you? Yeah, that's the point of birthdays. Not the a-hole, but I would consider trying to talk to them again. If they are normally reasonable people, they might not have realized how it would look to you and be ashamed and embarrassed. Reply 1, haha, I love that. It is the point of a birthday to celebrate you. So sad that the parents didn't even realize that OP might expect something like that. They gave her younger sibling a car knowing her older sister has been saving up for one. It's too much of a gap. Not cool, OP's parents, not cool. Response 7. NTA, you parents are the AHs. They are favoring one child over the other. I'm afraid it happens a lot when one child had a bad disease, and I would have reacted a lot stronger. I would have given them a piece of my mind and told them they loose me. If they ever treated me like that, just get away from them. They will always put her before you now. Reply 1. Since parents aren't interested in OP, doesn't make sense for OP to invest her time, money, and effort. Time to move on and start your own family. Parents will take a sister anyway at OP's expense. Response 8. NTA. I get it, cancer is scary, but the fact that you picked up a lot of the slack in the household for them and that went unnoticed/unappreciated is not okay. They clearly haven't put any effort in with you because your sister is sick, and that's leading to a golden child issue that will come back to bite them. Try explaining why you feel the way you do. Point out everything that's unbalancing the scales, and if they're still stubborn, low contact and stop helping out as much. Reply 1. This. Maybe theirs was a knee-jerk reaction by the parents, and I'm sure they've spent a lot of time worried, etc. That is not an excuse for their response, by the way, but I'd try one more time to come back to them when everyone is calm, and if the response or even just the message towards OP is the same, so invalidating and just totally unfair, then I really would stop doing any extra thing I've done to help out more. They're on their own at that point. Edit. To add that this, of course, depends on past relationship with parents. If it's always been a favoritism thing, even pre-illness, I probably wouldn't bother. Response 9. NTA. Stop helping out. Put in more hours at your job so you can save up money. Move out as soon as possible. This will not be solved so long as your parents have easy access to your free labor. They will not appreciate you until they realize all you have been doing. Maybe not even then. Reply 1. Definitely. You need to work more hours to earn the money for that car you need to buy all by yourself. Response 10. NTA. So you have basically been an unpaid housekeeper for about a year, preventing you from taking an extra job and saving up those $800. And they can afford to buy her a new car. Yeah, this does not add up nicely. Response 11. NTA. Your issue isn't with what your sister got. It's with the extremely lopsided behavior they're showing. This sucks, but I'm not sure they will change. Try to talk to your sister and be sure she understands your problem isn't with her, it's with your parents. Try to keep her on your team. You might need her as an ally later since your parents probably won't change. Response 12. Dick move on your parents' part. Also a weird one. Giving a brand new car to a 16 years old when you don't have much free money is such a weird choice. Also, when knowing that your other child is trying to save up for a used one. And just wanted them to help me with the rest, but he kept telling me that they have no money for that. Well, yeah, they needed all the money to get your sister a new car. Laugh out loud. Reply 1. You just know that car is on finance and they're going to come asking for money to help pay it so she doesn't lose it. Response 13. NTA. You didn't make this all about you. Your parents did with their heavily disproportional favoritism. They don't seem to see They have 2 children. They have 1 child and 1 personal assistant. I'm sorry you are having to go through this. Reply 1. My parents told me to come home so they could help me through my divorce and find my children. My ex kidnapped them. Instead, I got beaten up and put in the hospital, internal bleeding for a month, and then was demanded to drive them around while they helped my sister look for a second house to buy. Then tried to have me committed to a psych hospital and threw me on the streets when that didn't stick. Didn't even have a pair of winter boots or coat at the time. They said that I'm crazy and need a psychiatrist for thinking they don't care about me. I didn't even say it. I just walked away one day when they were going on and on about my ex. Come to find out, they helped kidnap our kids and get them out of state. The purpose of the psych hospital was to try to get guardianship to steal my divorce settlement. They threw me out when the psychiatrist wouldn't hold me. And a couple years later, my father was diagnosed with cancer and demanded that I give up my apartment and come back there to take care of him around the clock. Due to all I had been through with the separation and their physical abuse and an additional attack while I was living in my vehicle, I was in no condition to care for them. I was barely managing by myself. I was disinherited, but they made sure to leave me $1. That way, I can't contest their wills because I wasn't excluded. I wouldn't have contested it anyway. They told me about being disinherited when I was very young and reminded me every day the only thing they were required to do was provide shelter, clothing, and food. But I'm delusional for thinking they play favorites. Response 14. Time to take more hours at work, and if you're at school, spend more time there. Oops. Sorry, parents, I'm saving money. I can't clean today. Sorry, studying for school can't babysit. Stop helping them, and tell them you helped while she was sick and she's clearly fine now. Be grateful that you helped so much then. Save, and when you can, leave. Not the a-hole. Response 15. NTA. I think it's really crucial to acknowledge that a diagnosis impacts everyone in the family, your parents and yourself included. While your sister is deserving of love and care, so do all of you. It's so sad how many family members are left behind when illness strikes, creating another ripple in the drama. Response 16. NTA. I'm a parent of a chronically ill child. My oldest took it upon himself to help us by understanding and learning how to care for his young sibling. We are a family and we all care for each other. I wish my youngest didn't have to deal with this, nor do I wish my oldest to feel as though he has to be equally responsible for their siblings' health. We help each other cause we love each other. I notice how much my oldest does, and thank him as much as I can, and hug him as much as I can. They are different, but both deserved attention for the different situations they are in. I would have given you a car because of what you have done to help your family through this time. You sacrificed as much, just differently. As I parent, I see you, your contribution, and selflessness. You are a good kid. I hope you can speak with your parents about this and they are able to see how short-sighted they have been. I get being super anxious and worried. I do understand it happens, but I hope they can see the other side of it too. Take care of yourself. You seem to be on the right track and a good person. Response 17. NTA, as in an earlier comment, now you take care of you. Your parents can now take care of the house, the chores, etc. And you get to live your life without not helping anyone out but yourself. Bravo for being a very considerate son and brother while things were rough. Your sister was ill, but you were stepping up in a major way all the while. Response 18. My younger sister was diagnosed with severe health issues from birth. She was never supposed to walk, but looking at her now, you'd never know. She was always doted over. One year for Christmas, my grandparents bought my sister and I all matching gifts and made us open them at the same time. The last gift was a box. Inside of mine was a keychain souvenir. Hers had the same keychain, but also had the keys for a brand new, next model year car. I was not allowed to be upset by this according to my parents and grandparents. No one else could see the issue and how cold and calculated this was. Similarly, I had to take out loans for college. They paid for my sister's entire education. Their reasoning was that she had already struggled enough, but I didn't know what struggle was. I no longer speak to any of them for this. And a plethora of other reasons. Too long didn't read Not the A-hole. Response 19. NTA. Your parents obviously have a favorite child. On the plus side, since you now know your worth to them, you can save money on buying gifts. Reply 1. And stop doing the household chores. Buy a fridge for your room, save money, live as a tenant until you can leave. Response 20, Auntie A and also, why can you not feel jealous? It's a perfectly normal feeling, but it's not even the case here. Your parents could have easily made the situation less unfair by saying that they acknowledge that your sister's gift is more special and over the top, and it's because they wanted to cheer her up after being sick, and that you didn't get that as hell your 16th, but that they will help you get the car you really want. I mean, why are parents this blind to unfair treatment between siblings?